Today, a 38-year-old woman opens up about the biggest mistake of her life because she thought she could do better. Kevin Samuels uses her story to warn younger women before it's too late.
Actually, I was going to give a story of I guess like a warning story for women because I'm like 38 years old, and and I'm just going to give them a warning. If you are younger, let that be the primary thing that you need to focus on.
Okay.
Because I did get married. I got married at 23 years old, and then wind up being divorced at 30 with a child. And when I say the whole wave of what's out there switched and the gear went from me being the priority to not being it at all. And
Hold
I
on, hold
seen
on,
it.
hold on, hold on. I'm confused. You married at 23, divorced at 30.
Yes,
Who filed for divorce?
my husband.
Why'd you two split?
I would say personally, I feel like it was a lot of some on myself because I wasn't necessarily ready to be a housewife. I came in thinking like came in with big ideas, but we weren't there financially.
Okay,
So
but
I think
so
that
the dissolution said what? Irreconcilable differences.
I just said basically separation, divorce. It didn't say reconcilable petitions. It just said divorce.
So
We
there was
didn't
so
really.
there was no infidelity, no cheating, no
No, it was
abuse.
no infidelity, no cheating. It was literally a young girl getting married and being inexperienced and not really understanding her role as a
Okay,
wife.
okay, go ahead,
Period.
go ahead.
Period. And once I figured those things out and wanting to be a wife, I see now a lot of older women saying, "Oh, I'm not old. I can get married." And da da da. I'm like, no, you kind of have to change your gear and understand you're not in that bucket anymore. Now I was
Mm-hmm.
21, 23. I had a number of men that were willing to marry me,
Mm-hmm.
but I just didn't have the right headspace.
Mm-hmm.
But being in the other side and you're not married and you kind of see the benefits of marriage, you will see it immediately when you have a child.
Mm-hmm.
Then you realize, wow, I don't know what I was thinking, but I wish I knew it back then.
So let me
And I feel
ask you.
like
Let me ask you a question. Um,
yes,
Where's your ex husband now?
he's married. He used to be
Uh
married.
oh. Okay. So if he weren't okay, so are you saying you made an error in your marriage?
I can say, I mean, I don't know what he would say, but I would always say I would take the brunt of just being immature and not being a
Okay.
playing the role well.
Are you guys
That's what I would say.
are you guys co-parenting your child?
Yeah, if you're saying going, we don't have a good co-parenting relationship, but I
Well,
primarily allow him to make all the decisions because
well, I
I
mean, if
personally trust his
he's
judgment.
remarried. Does he
Mm-hmm.
have any children with this new wife?
Yes, yes, he does.
Well, that's probably why the co-parenting relationship is kind of trouble because the new wife probably feels some kind of way about you as the first wife. Um,
Well, I'm no,
well,
it's
I'm
not ever
just
going. It's not like that.
so basically, you want to tell young women to do what? Focus on.
So basically, when you're in that space, when you're the top choice, figure out and go for what you want, and do not delay it. And you don't want to be in a situation where you're in your 40s saying to yourself, "Am I going to die alone,
Mm-hmm.
or am I going to find purpose in my life outside of a marriage?" That's
Okay.
where you're going to be if you don't get it straight. That's just
Uh,
simply what it is. There's nothing to go around it.
well,
So that's kind of what I'm saying to people. Like, don't make. I know people kind of hear the language and feel like you're coming at them hard, but it's a hard truth because a lot of people will
yeah,
be single.
but you're a divorcee and you're a mother. You realize that life who came from a little girl or young girl's perspective. Life is real,
Yeah.
and we need to hear the real. That's why I was so troubled when I was talking to this previous caller. I'm like, what? So
Well, I feel like some people feel like the prize to. At the end of the day, we're in a youth culture for a reason. There's certain things that come from our youth culture that builds our society as well.
all
So
right.
I don't feel like older women who kind of play the role like they're still hot stuff. And I'm not saying you can't be. You can be physically hot stuff, but you're just not going to be the one that's going to be
Man,
chosen
you
for
shouldn't
it.
be doing. All right, then. Appreciate you calling in. We got a lot of folks in the chat room, but thank you for sharing your story.
Okay, I have
You do yourself no favors gaining weight. You need to keep your weight down. I don't care what the situation is. You got to keep your weight down. The world does not owe you understanding. Whatever your reasons are, as valid as though they may be, men are not going to go through the trouble of understanding you. You're going to go on to the next one. Ms. Hudson, you need to connect your microphone. Or I'm gonna go ahead to the next one. Struggle Wireless. I know. Cricket Wireless. Cricket Wireless. Cricket Wireless. What's going on, Goshen? All right. So again, older women. And see, here's the problem. Bree, what's going on? Hello? Bree B. Bree B going once. Bree B going twice. Bree B getting muted again. See, a lot of times when a woman asks a man's opinion, and if you give her the truth, a lot of guys don't want to tell you the truth because they're afraid of how you're going to take it. That's why I say Curtis Jackson, guys like him, they can tell you the truth because they can be unbothered and unashamed about it. A lot of these guys cannot tell you the truth because they got to go to work with you. They got to deal with you in the regular world. And they know a lot of you will listen, you'll hear it, you'll even take it in, but then mess around and share that information with your friend or something, or you'll sit on it, and then a day or so later, you'll get mad about it. Next thing you know, these guys are in HR, and you done wrote up letters and, he insulted me and blah, 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 and guys aren't doing that. But you got to ask yourself, if you have, in my generation, Generation X, I wonder if we could break the numbers out. The percentage of unmarried women, unmarried, never married women in Generation X, I bet it would be over 80%. Why? Because sadly, so many of our sisters have never looked at their corresponding men and said, that's my partner. That's who I need to be going through life with. Every other group of people, every other race of people, no matter if they're here or there, they look to each other to help. You looked at us as your competition. Or, I'll take that back. You looked at us as your servants. You don't even look at us as competition. You're better than most of us. If not, you would not talk to the average rank and file black man with such informality, casual disdain, low-level contempt. I mean, can you guys not hear the way in which some older women speak about black men? You can feel that coming through. They're not speaking in good faith and love and anything. It's like, I'm disgusted even having to address your being. And that shit just won't fly. Because like it or not, like I said, brothers and sat there and took them lashes, took their work, and they have improved themselves. And now with social media and more and the internet, the world is starting to realize, hey, those black men, they're a pretty good catch. Of all the groups of men in this country, they are the most likely to hear their women out. I wish a lot of ADOS black women could truly go to another country to see what women in other countries have to put up with. You would come running back to the United States of America with a different attitude. I laugh when you hear talk about how black men treat black women as if a lot of you have been oppressed. As if you've ever had to do that color purple stuff and got y'all all twisted up. All right, Shanae, we're going to try you one more again, and then we're going to get up out of here in a few minutes. Because at the end of the day, Shanae, your audio needs to connect. At the end of the day, black men are not your enemy. They're not. Black men are not your enemy. Never have been. Black men, and whether you believe it or not, most black men want to be with black women. They do. 80% of people want to be with their own folks. And here's the sad thing. I know I've heard men right here in this sector of YouTube, in a moment of truth, say, it pains me to know I gotta be alone because my counterpart is so caustic. Hardworking, good men earners, providers, six-figure dudes and better. I'm not even going to speak the guy's name. I know every time I hear him, I hear noise in the background. He's doing stuff. And I've heard these men say, out of all the problems and all the issues and ups and the downs and the family court and this and that, still want a black woman. A lot of you sisters don't realize the jewel you have in those black men, and the fact any other race of men would have likely divested and left long time ago. I'll say it. It's my personal opinion. This is just my opinion. Those black men are some of the best men on the planet. To be raised in this country, to survive what we have survived, and for the majority with such ill treatment to still be 10 toes down for the average. Man, I better get out of here. All right, Miss Hudson, your stuff's not getting on. I can't hear you.
You say you want to warn younger women, and you should, because you lived the fantasy and paid the price. You believed the world would keep handing you options. You believed your value would rise with your age, your job, your independence. But while you were growing older, the men you wanted were choosing women younger, softer, easier to build with. You didn't divorce a bad man. You divorced your best chance. And now you're looking around wondering why the men you want don't want you. Because they don't date regret, they date youth, femininity, cooperation, and peace. And now even divorced men your age are choosing younger women because they know exactly what you didn't know at 28 or 30.